I'm Ryan Stevens from the Racing with Ryan podcast.
And I'm Tom Stout with Speedway Video.
And this week we have with us driver of the number 00 Pro Truck and Dad Rock drummer, Mr. Jack Hall. How you doing, Jack?
Good. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. Well, I'm nervously excited to try these sauces. So
excellent. Yeah, we've seen what the back of your truck says.
Yeah.
How are you with spicy food?
Bad. I'm a weenie when it comes to sauces. I'm a ketchup on everything kind of guy. Judge me if you want. It's fine. But yeah, this is going to be interesting.
All right, well, we are not going to judge you. Up first is Ryan's homemade Hot Lap Green Flag. As Ryan likes to say, the green flag is out. This is a sweet jalapeno sauce.
Jalapenos, a lot of sugar, make it nice and sweet.
I'm probably going to think it's really spicy. This is going to be embarrassing.
That's number one, too.
That was hotter than any sauce I would put on anything on my own. It's not so hot that I'm going to be a baby about it, though. It does have flavor. Okay. I can handle that.
All right.
Okay.
That's good. It tastes very fresh. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, fresh, definitely. I agree. So, you and I have talked about this before. We're both playing the algorithm. We're playing the algorithm lottery.
Yes.
What are some of the tricks that you have found with jacked racing on both YouTube and TikTok or whatever else that has worked for you? What are some of the tricks that help you play the game successfully?
Well, wrecking a race car, catching a race car on fire,
Yeah.
or having incidents in the pits,
Okay.
being dramatic, which is not the type of videos I like to make, but I end up making them more than I should. But no, just being authentic, I think, is the biggest thing. You know, I think people kind of started following along with some of the silly antics I did at first on TikTok, but then the more we started showing the actual racing side of it, people really seem to get into it. You know, there's people that ask, when are we racing again? Where are we racing? People come up in the pits and want to talk about the videos and stuff, so it's cool how it's grown into something like that. I never thought it would have, but it's really cool that it has.
It's a good mix that you have, because you've got some funny things in there, you've got some creative things, but then you've got, well, the Sour Race Night win. I think it's a fun way to follow a racer's journey, really.
Yeah, I mean, we all have bad stuff that happens to us with our race cars. We all make mistakes, and I guess the only difference is we put them on the internet for everyone to see instead of keeping them in the garage. So.
Yes, it's a different kind of humility, I think, that I can appreciate from behind the camera. And as someone who, even though I've been around it for almost a decade now, I do not understand racing or race cars. I understand what you're explaining when you're talking us through your night at the racetrack in your videos.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, up next. It's ironic that it goes green to yellow. This is the Pirate's Lantern pepper sauce.
Oh.
Ramp it up a little bit. This is a mustard-based sauce. It's got some horseradish in there and some other things.
Full disclosure here, I don't like horseradish or mustard, but I'm going to be really brave and do this anyways.
It's a trooper. That's how I felt eating this one as well.
I'm getting a kick out of this because the main reason, this was from my original lineup, and the main reason I picked it is because I thought, oh, we're going to be using chicken. It's a mustard sauce. That goes so well together. So many guests will like it. Across the board so far, everybody has been like, I don't really like mustard all that much.
Ketchup, man. I have a very red and brown sauce palette. Barbecue sauce, teriyaki, ketchup. That was about it for me. That one's not... I don't feel like it's super hot right now. Okay, that was a pleasant surprise. I thought that was going to be worse.
All right, so Jacked Racing, for those that don't know, is a combination of your name and your father's name, Ed. So it's Jack and Ed, Jacked Racing. So it's not just like Jack is Jacked Racing.
Although also.
Yeah,
Also, I mean-
yeah, look at those guns.
Yeah.
So drummer arms right there. So what's it like to share your passion with your father, and how has it shaped your relationship?
It's super cool. I mean, it's one of those things that not a lot of people get to do, so I'm very grateful to get to do that. We've made a ton of awesome memories, even from back 13 years ago. There's stuff we still talk about all the time that we went through back at some of the old tracks with the old cars. So it's been super cool. I've obviously learned a ton. When we started, I was like a 13-year-old kid with a quarter midget, didn't know anything about working on cars, didn't know anything about cars, and now we can put race cars together, and I can do it when Dad's not here too. So the fact that I've been able to learn that much and get to spend all that time with the family doing it is like, it's super cool. I'm super grateful.
That probably makes it all the more fun when you go to the racetrack, right? It stems from a family obsession, and it's just continues to grow that way.
Yep, I always told him it's his fault because he bought me all these Hot Wheel cars and he always took me to the racetrack when we were little. I was like, what did you think was going to happen, You think I was just going to stop playing with cars? They just get bigger and more expensive when you grow up.
So every time you wreck, you go back to the trailer like, well, Dad.
It's really your fault in a roundabout way. It's not my fault that I drove into that wall.
Man, I'm telling you, when you wreck a Hot Wheels car like my daughter does, it's real easy to go to the store and get a new one. Not so much when they're big and real, right?
No.
Yeah.
We know what we signed up for, so we put it back together and go try again.
I don't think anybody sets out to tell the underdog story. I'm sure that you would love for Jacked Racing to be the channel where you win a lot.
Of course.
But the underdog story is so interesting, and once that win happens, I mean, oh my gosh, if there was a roof on the place, there wouldn't be one after that.
Yeah, hey, it's all about the small victories for us. You know, some of these guys go out, they get really mad if they don't win. We finish in the top 10, and we're like on top of the world. So it's all relative to us.
All right, as we teeter closer to the edge here, we are up to the Dirty Dick's hot pepper sauce. The name doesn't suggest fruity, but I think it's kind of a fruity sauce.
Ooh, that is fruity. With a little bit of heat. Not quite right up front. That one's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I like that one.
So, on your social media platforms and video platforms, you have also been working on multiple projects in your garage, but the one that piques my interest, maybe because of the paint job, but I think it's interesting that you're doing an older NASCAR restoration.
Yes.
I don't even have a question about that. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as all good stories start, I was browsing Facebook Marketplace one day, and up pops an actual Bobby Labonte NASCAR race car from 1997. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, of course I'm going to click on it, right? And it's sitting in a guy's garage, and it looks like it's seen better days. So I send it to Dad kind of as a joke, just like a, hey, look at this.
Yeah,
this is
look what I
fun.
found.
Fun find. You know, you do that every once in a while.
Look at this Hot Wheels car.
And he just texts back and said, let's get it. That's all he said. And I was like, are we doing this? Like, I actually sent the guy a message, and he said he sold it. So I was like, oh, like there went the chance, right? He sends me a message the next day, says, buyer backed out, it's yours if you want it. When else do you get the chance to own one of the cars you watched growing up race
my goodness.
at that level? And it was honestly a good price too. I mean, it needed work, but we aren't scared to do work. So, I mean, to do it on the channel to try and make a little money back on it, you know, it was one of those things where it was like, let's just do it.
It's a fun project to have. What have you been able to do with the car so far?
So far, we have basically just taken it all down. We've stripped all the surface rust and everything like that because it sat outside for a long time, and you know Florida weather is not kind to cars. So history of it raced 96, 97 road course races, Sonoma, Watkins Glen. Went to Race Rock, if you guys remember Race Rock.
Oh my goodness, a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah.
It lived there for a long time.
I used to go there all the time.
You probably saw it sitting there.
Probably.
That's
yeah.
cool.
You
Outside? Was it outside
I don't
or
remember.
inside?
I was like a little kid.
So was I.
But yeah, it went there, and then from there, it lived at Fun Spot.
Oh, okay.
So it was a display car at Fun Spot. So that's
cool,
where
actually.
the damage happened, though, because they left it sit outside. One of our fans finally sent me a picture. I saw it sitting outside at Fun Spot. I've been trying to find it like on display. And it looked like it was in way better shape in that photo. So I was like, oh, I wish it was in that condition. But yeah, we're putting in just a regular small block Chevy 4-speed transmission, nothing crazy. We're going to maybe eventually try and street legal it so we can drive it around to car shows and just...
That'd be really cool.
I mean, who doesn't want to rip down the highway in an old cup car? We're just having fun with it, seeing what we can do, take it to car shows, let people live the nostalgia that we feel for it, and just have fun.
The cross flags are out, so you made it halfway. You seem to be doing all right.
Yeah.
We're going to take you to the carnival.
Okay, let's do it. We just talked about Fun Spot, and that's essentially a permanent carnival.
Right,
so let's
right.
give this a shot. I took a small portion. That's way hotter than the first three. Oh, that's way hotter. You were right. We turned a corner. Tell me it's going to be fine, and then we go around the corner, and it's not. It's how every horror movie starts, right?
Or like every, half a race for you. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're right. I wish you weren't, but you're right.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, that one's...
I don't taste anything but heat.
Yeah. Oh, no.
It's like, no, that was just a hot one. Well, hopefully we didn't do our friend in here, but you play drums
I
in
do.
a local cover band called Pop Punk Dad Rock.
It's because it's what we play. Yep.
That's what you play, yep. I mean, what a perfect name.
I mean, how many times do you see a cover band on an ad at a bar and you have no idea what kind of music they're going to play?
You know what you're getting.
So we name the band what we play, so that way when it's on a flyer at the bar, you know what to expect.
I like it. So where does your love of music stem from, and how'd you pick the drums? As a drummer myself, I'm curious to know how you came to be a drummer.
So I started playing drums in like 4th grade concert band like everyone else did, right? They teach you in the school. And my mom took me to a drum teacher, because obviously I enjoyed it. I wanted to learn how to play like a drum kit instead of just like a little snare drum in the concert band.
Yeah.
So what do you know? The dude's a metalhead. So he starts teaching me how to play Shadows Fall, Lamb of God, stuff like that.
Okay, kid. So how are you with the double bass?
Exactly. So once you get a taste for that, it started with the drums. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're listening to death metal when you're like 15 years old, and your parents are questioning everything. But
oh, where did I go wrong?
I told my mom it was kind of her fault too. I'm not trying to sound like I blame my parents for everything, but they bought me a Linkin Park CD when I was in like 3rd grade. And that's when Hybrid Theory, Meteora, a little bit heavy, right?
Yeah.
For a 3rd grader,
Well,
it's
it was in
pretty
the metal
heavy.
section.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And then,
Great production value.
Yeah,
It
was. That's still one of my favorite albums ever. But, it just kind of goes from there. You're like, oh, I like the part where he screams a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, you can get music where they do that the whole time? Oh, I like playing drums like this. And then that's just where it goes.
That's exactly how it goes. I listened to Christian rock growing up. Grew up in a Christian household, so Newsboys, Audio Adrenaline, that kind of thing. But I looked for the more upbeat stuff, and as I got older and learned music, I'm like, well, I don't like this screaming stuff. But then I got into the music side of it, and the drums, and I'm like, well, I can tolerate. Okay, it's actually really good.
Oh, fine. That's where we diverge, because I like Seven Dust is the example that I've cited to you, where I really liked their first several albums where he like sort of in the background, almost as if he was in a different room, Exile on Main Street style, just like, I'm not going to impersonate it, but shouting a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like what that's adding to it. Then they switched production companies, and then it got all screamy, and I'm like, oh man, I don't like Seven Dust anymore.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Everybody likes what they like, and I feel like as drummers, we like to go as fast as we can and try to stay in time.
Of course,
So, and it's not always easy.
No, it's not. It's a workout, but it's fun.
What's your favorite band to play to?
Probably not any of the bands we play, in all
Yeah,
honesty, because I'm a metalhead. Don't get me wrong, I love pop punk, punk rock. I even like all the dad rock. I don't hate Nickelback.
A lot of that is
I'll
fun to
say,
play.
It is. It's just good old rock and roll. It's fun to play. But I like playing the metal drums. I don't do it a whole lot anymore, but you can crank the double bass, get some blast beats going, just really go to town. That's what it is. One of my first favorite bands to play to, and I don't know if anyone's gonna know this band. You might. They were called War of Ages.
I don't, off the top of my head, I don't
Okay.
recognize.
They were from my hometown, and they kind of made it big, and that's who I started playing metal drums to. So that's probably my favorite to jam along to.
Okay. And when you're live playing the set list that you guys do go to, what's one of your favorites?
I never thought I would say this, but I actually like a lot of the Green Day songs we play.
Oh, yeah.
Green Day is fun as hell to drum to.
They are.
The old stuff. The new stuff I can't even listen to.
I don't
but
know any of the new
the old
songs,
stuff.
yeah.
Where's your
couple
cutoff for new stuff? What do you consider new
So,
Green Day?
For me, I cut Green Day off after American Idiot.
Me too.
Okay.
I like
Same
American
page.
Idiot, but after that, I really couldn't even tell you what comes next or what songs they
Yeah.
even have after that.
I adore Dookie, and I adore American Idiot.
Okay.
Everything else I have trouble with.
So we're all on the same page on that,
I
at
think
least.
so.
So what Green Day tracks are on your, what do you play?
We play a lot because my singer, who, fun fact, was a guy I hired off Rover to watch my bunny. And Betsy's bunny. She will kill me if I don't throw her name in there.
Yep.
But we hired him to watch the bunny, and he saw that I had some music posters up and was like, hey, you like music? What do you like? And I was like, yeah, I'm a drummer, this, that. He's like, well, I sing and play guitar. What kind of music do you listen to? And the more we talked, it was like, should we try? And so we got together, saw if we could, just to see if we could play the same song at the same time and actually get along. And we burned through a bunch of songs really quick, and we're like, we don't suck. We might be able to do something with this.
That's awesome.
So Welcome to Paradise.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously is great. We're learning Longview right now.
Nice,
And I'm actually
I
learning.
saw the clip of that the other day.
We're going to try something interesting. I'm going to actually play the bass during the verse and drum the chorus because it's very bass heavy in the verse.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we're going to try and see if I can play two instruments in one song. We think we can do it. We've done it in practice. We'll play it at our next show.
Cool.
And see how that goes.
Yeah,
But,
I got to get out to one of these shows. I haven't had the pleasure to get out there yet with.
well, you're a dad now. You have to.
Yes, listen, it's like on the dad checklist. You're absolutely
Yes.
right.
So Ryan, here's how much I've been liking this Melinda's sauce.
Did you go get some?
I went and got some, and it's really impressive the range of heat Melinda provides, because Melinda's man go to her butt.
Oh my gosh.
Melinda's sponsor us.
There you go. I was actually surprised to find something as hot as the boot jalokia in at Walmart.
It's hot, but it's an accessible like heat and flavor.
The way Ryan described this one to me is that it's an explosion of flavor and heat all at once.
It's just an explosion in your mouth.
It is.
Okay. I'm being a brave guy today.
Yes, you are.
I almost think that one was worse. Nope, it's turning up a little bit. I almost jumped the gun there. I still think that one was worse. Takes a second, but it gets there. That's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I also took a small amount, admittedly.
Yeah.
You can zoom in on that and make it look really big on camera.
There you go. Yep. I'm gonna do some Photoshop. Right. So you said the Carnival. You were like, oh man, I'm just tasting the heat. Are you getting some flavor from the Melindas?
That's not ketchup, so I don't taste anything but heat.
So congratulations on getting married recently.
Thank you.
And as you know, I like the spot that you picked for it as well. Beautiful spot.
Mm-hmm.
You also took an overseas honeymoon.
We did.
What was one of your favorite places that you visited?
So, my favorite city itself was London. London is just a super cool town, but the one that I still am thinking about, and this makes sense, if you watch videos online, you know that thing where it's like, do guys really think about the Roman Empire all day?
Oh, yes.
We went to Rome. I had never thought about the Roman Empire, and now I can't stop thinking about it, because it is just mind-blowing. Like, to see some of those sites, like to stand in the Colosseum, to stand in the Roman Forum, like, to go into the catacombs, all that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, it's one of those things you're standing there and you still can't comprehend where you're standing.
It's definitely bucket list to me. Athens in particular. You were Greece, not Rome, but yeah, that's like...
That same thing. It's crazy. It's like they were doing so much 2,000 years ago that, you know, it makes you kind of realize we're maybe not as smart as we thought we are.
It shaped our world.
It did. It's crazy.
I have a book about Genghis Khan that's called The Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World. And I was like, well, that's an ambitious title. And then I read it and I'm like, okay, I buy it now.
Yeah.
I struggle to, I hear these stories from back in the day and I struggle to be like, that's not even real. That stuff didn't even really happen.
That's such a Ryan thing to say.
Exactly. It really is. That's my simple mind at work. I'm like, that's all stories and stuff. But I can only imagine just standing there and taking that all in and being like, yeah, this stuff really happened that like you almost can't even comprehend because the way we live nowadays is so.
But it's crazy to think. Like I think the thing that stuck with me the most was going into the Colosseum, because it's one of those things. I mean, they had merchandise trailers outside for the gladiators. They had like numerals on every gate that your ticket corresponded to go into your section. Like they had sporting events figured out 2,000 years ago. They built this amazing structure, and then they did such horrible things in it. Like they did so much so right, and did just awful things at the same time. Like
sounds like humanity.
It essentially was. Yeah, it was very eye-opening though, because you read about all these things, and you can watch documentaries and read textbooks, but until you're actually there and can feel it, I guess you could say. We also went to the crypts, the Capuchin monk crypts, which, if you're not familiar, is 4 different rooms decorated entirely out of human remains.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking. Yes, I did not know what they were called, but okay.
So that's one of those things you're like, wow, this is pretty art, but it's all human bones. Like, that kind of makes you feel something standing in a room like that. It's crazy.
So if you ever want to feel, go there.
Yeah, I think I first ever saw those on Patty Smith's Instagram, and I was like, it's not like Patty to share screenshots from horror movies, and then I realized, oh, she's just hanging out in Italy.
Jack, the good news is the white flag is out. You made it this far. We've ramped it up a little bit.
My body temperature has gone up since we started this.
This might be the one where, you throw the checkers.
So we're going to do Jacked Racing Trivia.
Okay.
I've got 2 questions. One is a numerical question. Whoever gets closest to the number is the winner.
Okay.
But if you answer the bonus question right, you automatically win.
Okay. So the loser eats Jack's piece of chicken?
Down. You got to double down on it.
Yeah, because we're both dabbing anyway.
We're going to eat it.
Okay, and this stuff is hot enough that even though it's really yummy and I do look forward to it each time, it's punishing enough that I'm not going to want that second dab.
Yeah, I'm blaming the tummy disease for this, not me being a baby. I am a baby, but if, having a burnout on the way home was not in question, I would try it. But you guys are brave, so let's do that. So, numerical question. What year was Jacked Racing officially started?
Ooh, all right.
Okay.
Officially is the key word there. We've gotten some clues from the answers, but officially is the key word. Shall we take our first one while we're thinking about it?
Okay, yeah. Let's make this
It'll
harder.
help you think.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
your
that's
minds.
an extremely helpful sauce. Oh, it's so
it's so
yummy
good.
though. Mm-hmm.
Glad you
Oh,
guys
look
like
at
it.
There it is.
I'm trying to do math.
And I'll give you a hint. I know I talked about quarter midgets when I was younger. At a certain age, that is not the correct answer.
Yeah, that's
We
what.
did
So that's not jacked racing.
We did
Right.
not race under jacked racing
Right.
in
Okay,
quarter
good to know.
midgets.
Okay.
Yeah, I might be going too recent, but going along with the underdog story that has been jacked racing so far, I'm gonna say 2019 because you immediately get hit by the pandemic, and that's such a jacked racing thing to happen.
I mean, you're. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll
Fair.
say. I was gonna say 2016, and we're doing closest to the pin.
Okay. I will tell you you're both wrong.
Okay.
So let's do the bonus question,
Okay.
and we'll see who gets to finish this lovely bowl of sauce.
Okay.
The last feature race I won, what division was it in?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say your bomb ray style 4-cylinder type cars.
You shouldn't answer this because it would be cheating. But I'm wondering if you raced that car at other tracks and I didn't see it.
Neither of you saw it.
Okay. It's my last answer was mean, but considering my limited knowledge of pre-2020, 2021 jacked racing, I'm gonna go back to quarter midgets. But I don't like that answer because that feels insulting.
I have won a quarter midget race before, so I mean I have, but that's not it either.
Okay.
So you're both wrong.
Oh man.
It was a school bus figure 8 race.
Oh!
See, I wouldn't even. My mind wouldn't even gone
Wow.
there.
Good old
Okay.
Crasherama, me and Chuck Rush put me in one of his buses.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
won.
Yeah, and that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
It was like
I feel like I remember hearing about this now that
2000. It might have actually been. It was 2020. It was the
Okay.
COVID comeback show, and I had like the worst year with my
yeah.
stomach diseases. Went out and won a school bus figure 8
Nice.
race. Made me feel a lot better. So, drum roll. Jacked racing started in 2009.
Dang, I wanted to say 06 too. Oh, I would've
Okay,
been close.
okay. Wait, why does the number 13 stick out in my mind? You
I
said
raced
something
quarter
about...
midgets when I was 13.
And
But
that's
we
what,
didn't.
okay.
We coined jacked racing when we got full-size cars when I was 16, which was 2009.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I thought, oh, he said 13 at one point, so 2024 minus 13, and then, like, split the difference.
I see where you're at, but also you need to eat some.
Also,
hot sauce.
yes.
We've come this far.
Yeah, I'm going to take my punishment and get as much on this nugget as I can. What am I doing to myself?
Punishment. So back in February 2023, you experienced perhaps one of those frustrating moments that you've had behind the wheel of a race car, or that any racer could even
Yes.
face. Another team, not even a competitor, but another team touched your truck in the staging area before the start of a big race, caused unrepairable damage to your truck, caused you to miss being able to participate in really one of the biggest races of the year. So how were you able to handle situations like that in such a professional manner? Because I remember you talked about it. You came on my podcast, you talked about it on your channels, but you did it in such a way that just, it told the story, but you didn't go off on the guy. So how are you able to keep your emotions under control when stuff like that happens?
I don't know. Maybe I have low blood pressure or something. But no, it's we try and keep it as professional as we can, and I'm here to tell a story on all of our social media pages, so that's what I'm here to do. You probably didn't see a lot of the behind the scenes cursing these guys out that I didn't put on the camera. When we talk publicly, we try and do it as professionally as possible.
Sure.
I think there's too many tempers in short track racing. People take it way out of proportion, and I don't really. I mean, it's good for clips on TikTok and stuff like that, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's super great for the sport, and I don't want to contribute to that. So
I like that.
I try and show that you can take the high road and make the best of a bad situation. So now, granted, in that moment, I think I blacked out when it happened. But
I was mad for you, and there's literally nothing I could do. Like I said, the way you handled it, just it impressed me, because I probably would have blown a gasket and
I was
probably got
just in
myself in
shock.
trouble.
It was one of those things where I was like, did that really just happen? And like I didn't know what to do. I'm not a super confrontational person,
Yep.
as you can probably imagine, but it was, one of those things. I'm like, what do I do? Do I have to get crazy right now? Like, I don't want to get kicked out of the track or fighting or anything like that. I know that's not cool either, but it was an all-around bad deal. And I still have never publicly outed the team that did it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I will, but it was a nasty thing to do.
And you've had that happen. You've been on fire. You've been caught in crazy wrecks. You've had the health issues. You've been through COVID. Last week you were driving through the grass. I mean, you've literally had all those things happen. Yet you guys keep going. You've made it through the gauntlet of hot sauces. You told some great stories. We've gotten to know you a little bit better. Now that you've crossed the finish line here, I want to give you an opportunity to do a burnout, give a shout out, give any thanks. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow us, Jacked Racing, all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if that's still a thing by the time you watch this video. Just kidding. But, yeah, I got to basically just thank my family. They're the biggest support. We don't have big sponsors. We run everything ourselves. We do all our own work. And they all come to, they come to support me. Betsy's there every week with me. My dad's here when he can. My mom goes. Family and friends that are supportive of it. Guys like you that, keep getting us out in the public eye. I appreciate all of it.
We appreciate you being willing to do this. We know this is like you're a ketchup guy. We got a couple pieces of chicken left, and we started this last week with Justin. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to pick up one of those chickens and tell us which one was your favorite sauce.
I think it was that one. I'm gonna be mad if I was wrong. This is the that's fruity
the dirty
one,
dip.
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This was my favorite, so I'll go back for more.
Nice.
I wondered if that was
Victory lap.
Yeah.
Is my face red? I feel like my face is red.
You're a little red.
You're a little red.